work out? Is this going to function? No. Testing, testing. All right, it's showing some sort of connection. Welcome back to the Philippines, y'all. This is Ned. We had a little bit of a power interruption there. It's one thing you can count on. I just responded to a question. What made you move back to Dumaguete? And yeah, the great electricity and the internet. Everything works all the time, unlike out in the provinces. So apologies for that, everyone. Hope it's working now. Let's continue on. Let's get through this before we have another brownout here in Dumaguete. Where last we left off, I was just regaling you all with stories about my flesh fly infestation. Hopefully that will taper off after a while. The next comment comes from Peter Nickname, and he asked this via the YouTube discussion page. Can someone respond? Not sure. I know how to use this site. Never get response. Sorry, I'm not good at responding to stuff. Can someone answer a question, please? I've been married to a Filipina for 5 years. We live in the States, USA, I guess. We are buying a house and lot in the Philippines, Dumaguete area. My question is, how do I get US dollars there? Do I send remitly to her father's bank account or wire transfer to her dad's account? Not sure her dad can pull $2 million out of the bank at one time. And when making money hand to hand to seller, where do I do this where it's safe? Not sure how it's done in the Philippines. Thank you. Please, someone respond that understand this. All right, I have no practical experience with this. I mean, the best situation is to actually be here and to set up a Philippine dollar account and then wire the money over to your own account, take the money out, exchange it, and get the best exchange rate. If you wire money to the dad's account, if you trust him with 2 million pesos, sending it to his account, what they're going to do is you're going to get hit on the exchange because he probably only has a peso account. So they're going to exchange it from dollars to pesos, and they're going to give you a substandard exchange rate. You're going to get hit on that. As far as exchanging 2 million pesos, yeah, you probably want to make an exchange like that in a bank or at a lawyer's office, something like that, because that's a lot of money here in the Philippines. That's about 40,000 US dollars. The best thing to do, like I said, is to actually be here, see what the lot and the house is that you're purchasing, that your money's going towards, and take it from there. Sometimes you can have a hassle setting up dollar or peso accounts here if you haven't been here for 90 days and you haven't received your ACR card yet. But what you do in that situation is sometimes rules and regulations here are somewhat arbitrary and capricious, so you just go to the next bank, ask them if you can open an account. If they say no, go to the next bank, go to the next bank, and so on. And eventually one of the bank managers will most likely let you open an account without the ACR card. And you can't get the ACR card until after you've been here for a while, and then sometimes, because they have problems with the printing plastic and all that, it takes a while to get it. If you send remitly or any of these other remittance businesses, you're going to get killed on the percentage that they take out. So I wouldn't recommend that. If anybody else has any suggestions, leave it down in the comment section on this video, or if Peter Nickname is watching now, leave it in the comment section. Let's see, make sure this thing is still functioning. All right, welcome back, everybody. And not look at the giant gap. That's what she said. Oh, is there a gap? Is that what's happening? There's an 11-minute gap. Yes, Jerry Gamboni notes that yesterday was HV Day, and I watched all the videos because someone was nice enough to send me all the links to that. Of course, he's in a furor today. If you look at his last video, he says, they'll never shut me down. I'm full of compassion, and they're all just mean. They'll never take me out. I'm dealing with medical issues, all that stuff. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, too, because somebody asked about that. Eric E. via Facebook, private message, asked me, hi, my name is Eric. I met a woman online from Pagadian City. Is it safe to go to her city and meet her family on my first trip to meet her? To which I respond, Michelle's family actually lives in Pagadian City. I've been down there. That's actually one of my earliest videos. I think it's a 3-part video series. I wasn't too crazy about Pagadian. And with all the stuff that's going on down in Mindanao, I wouldn't recommend it, especially if it's your first time coming here. You're better off having them you know, to have them take the bus up and the ferry and all that stuff. It's not that expensive. Bring them over to Dumaguete, Cebu, somewhere like that, and show them around, you know, bring them out to eat, show them the sights and all that stuff. And then later on, if you want to go down to Pagadian City and see the city of dried fish, I think that's what their nickname is or something, the city of very small tricycles, you can do that. There's not many foreigners down in Pagadian City at all. If you'll remember, it was either Tapitan or Tapolog where that Irish former priest that ran the restaurants was kidnapped, and that's the big transportation hub to get down to Pagadian City. I'm just staying away from there. I'm sorry. And I know there's people down in Davao and CDO and all that, Tapolog, Tapitan, that are like, oh, it's safe, it's fine, nothing's ever happened to me. But there's a lot of travel advisories right now, and maybe they have some intelligence or some, you know, information that we don't have. I'm not sure. I'm sure Dave's going to be very upset. I'm in Davao. It's incredibly safe. Don't make fun of his fish flopping seizures. Yes, that's just mean. That's not. You know how politically correct I am. I am a liberal, progressive, socialist. We shouldn't be making fun of people. I'm still working on South Park PC Principle season, and it's quite edifying, and I'm learning quite a lot about PC, bro. Next question, Wildlands 1 on channel update and Dumaguete flood damage. Try this one on for size. Lowlander City Boy, he's referring to me. A 60-hour blackout, he called it what it is, up here in lovely Liptong, Bacong, Valencia. And about 2,000 pesos worth of rotted freezer steaks. Gotta love it, uff. To which I responded, ugh, a few buddies of mine are in the same boat. And yeah, that's rough. When you're dealing with that, if I was hit with a blackout of that duration, I would go to a hotel because I am a wimp. Even though it's cooler with all the, you know, the cloud cover and all that stuff, I still need my air conditioning. I still need my internet. I still got to get things done. Sorry to hear about that. And if Wildlands 1 is who I think it is, what's going on, brother? Lek Buzzy on channel update and Dumaguete flood damage said, oh, I wanted to ask, do you have any problems with the DJI app crashing? I've seen on YouTube that Android has an issue with the DJI app. One YouTube went so far as to say if you don't want the headache of all the crashes, you should purchase an Apple product just for the DJI drone. Thanks. Lek Buzzy, to which I respond, thank you for letting me know that. I actually did some research on it, and I found out that Android has been having issues. And if you notice, a lot of times I'm flying my drone out over the water, so it's good to know that. I also have the return to home thing always programmed in, so if I do lose connection, it will hopefully rise to a certain altitude and come back to me. I hope that works. But then what does it do? Does it land, or does it just like hover there until it runs out of battery power? I don't know. Rory Thomas says Ned is a social warrior. I'm not a social warrior. I'm a social justice warrior. Don't get me started, man. I know all about PC, bro. Black Crow Walking says, I like a slower pace than Cebu. Yes, a lot of people do, including myself. Mary Lou Jack says, I used to go to college in Cebu, and it was so nice then. It's still nice, but the traffic is horrible. Yeah, I know some guys that have been over there for like 15, 20 years, and they said I mean, it's really bad. And I've been over there more than a few times, and the traffic is horrendous. I actually feel sorry for the taxi drivers over there because they're just basically sitting in traffic, idling in neutral for half the trip. Jerry Gamboni says Davao and Digos is safe. Okay. Huh? Scary. Catabatic says PV is buying the Predator drone from the Department of Defense. He's got to take that up with Secretary of Defense Mattis. All right. Also, I was talking to Marichu Sabinal yesterday. If you guys remember, I did some music videos of the Sabinals. It's a whole family of incredibly talented, gracious, and lovely musicians up there. It's Janet, it's Marichu, and it's their brother Andre, or Andre. I can never pronounce it. It's Andry. And I was talking to her yesterday about doing a music video because she's got a bunch of original compositions, and they're really good. And with the drone and everything and my DSLR and some tripods and the GoPro, I'm going to try to do like a professional like music video, like something you'd see on MTV. And And I talked to her about that briefly yesterday, and she seemed receptive to that. She actually seemed pretty excited about it. So that's hopefully something I'll be doing soon. And also we got the trip coming up this weekend, and hopefully I'll be able to get some good drone footage on that. Jay Dixon on channel update and Dumaguete flood damage. Hi Ned, what do you think about buying a multi-cab to travel around Mindanao? I think about retiring next year in Dumaguete Island. It's Dumaguete or Dumaguete? Dumaguete? They usually pronounce the middle, they stress the middle syllable, which is an hour or two from Surigao City. I am trying to figure out the best method of transportation around the mainland of Mindanao. To which Stephen 2090 replied, I'd buy an AK-47 first, some grenade launchers, and at least 4 handguns. To which Jay Dixon replied, actually I'm retiring on Dinagat Island, and I want a vehicle to travel all over the Philippines. Bruce S. constructively replied, a multi-cab is a good choice, reliable, and if you ever break down, there will be somebody, I guarantee you, that can help fix it and get it back on the road again. Plus, parts are readily available. If you can get a 4x4 one, even better good for muddy roads. Yeah, you see Suzuki multi-cabs, and these are surplus vehicles from Japan. They can only use them for so many thousand miles and so many years over in Japan. They chop them up, they send them over here, they reassemble them. They're small, and I know a bunch of people that have them. If you're small enough of stature, they're actually fairly comfortable for long trips. You really can't adjust the seat incline because the cab's usually right there. They have a bunch of different models, and if they ever break down, everybody knows how to fix them. You can pull out the transmission. The transmission's like this big. It's like a lunchbox. And but as far as traveling around Mindanao, I wouldn't recommend it, man. Not right now. Not right now. Just saying. Daniel Edwards on channel update on Dumaguete flood damage said, you, Rike, and PV were some of my first Philippine topic views on YouTube back as far as 9 or more years ago. I hope you last many more. I don't think any of us were around 9 years ago here. To which I responded, PV, ugh, for the love of God, man, please don't put my name in the same sentence as Blackfoot. Yuck, now I gotta wash myself down with rubbing alcohol. Daniel Edwards replied, sorry, but it was true long ago. I do not watch the hobo anymore either. Life changes and the progress stays the same. To which Philippine Island Life responded, Daniel Edwards, the same here. I have watched his videos since he began uploading. Great channel. I'm not sure which of the 3 of us he was referring to, but thank you nonetheless. Let's go to the comments real quick. Catabatic says, multi-cab good for loading your sack of rice for your wife. Yeah, those things are tough as dogs, man. And they're mountain goats. I remember a buddy of mine, Larry, when I first got here, he actually brought me up to Japanese Shrine. He's got a 4x4 multi-cab. And the road up to Japanese Shrine is brutal. And he didn't once have to shift into 4-wheel drive. He actually made it up there with 2-wheel drive. They got like a 600cc engine. It's a small engine. It doesn't put out much power. But what power it does, because it's a light vehicle also, works really well. Expat in Training says they're really pushing the YouTube Red on my feed. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't think it was... I'm not sure what that YouTube Red is. I don't know. I'm so bad with technology and what's actually going on. I have no idea. Okay, so David N. via Facebook says, hey Ned, what has happened to the Manila Hobos channel? He hasn't put up any new content for a while. And for that matter, what happened to Aaron Wilson's Video Freedom channel? That seems gone as well. For those who don't know, you're not really missing anything. I think the Manila Hobo, I think his main channel, his latest main channel, he got some community violations, so they put him on a 30-day timeout or something. But he's responding on one of his secondary channels to all the stuff from the Alliance. And shout out again, once again, to the Alliance. Not for exposing, because the whole exposing thing, but for fact-checking a certain individual who was constantly spewing certain things and proving him to be both, not knowledgeable on certain things and also probably one of the most blatant examples of a hypocrite we have seen in recent years. Also, it's good to know about PV because it just shows you the attitude and some of the types of foreigners and expats that you're going to meet here living in the Philippines. We're not exactly the cream of the crop of the Western world. I include myself in that. So, As far as Mr. Video Freedom, Aaron, long-term subscriber and dear friend of the channel, it looks like his channel was completely taken down, which isn't a surprise. Which isn't a surprise. Um, but yeah, that's something. David for God 78. Mindanao is fine. Jensan is safe. Luzon and Visaya all the way. Uh, again, I can't recommend anybody, traveling outside of major urban areas that are somewhat safe down in Mindanao. I mean, you even had the example in Davao not too long ago where they attacked that factory and processing plant warehouse. They burnt up a lot of things, and that was only like 10 minutes away from the center of Davao. So you never know what's going to happen. And when you're traveling around, you're really isolating yourself. You're sticking out like a sore thumb. And, everybody's got cell phones. They can text ahead, hey, we got a target on the way. Let's make some money. Mary Lou Jack says, Ned, I have two nieces that are studying at Silliman University. She's taking law in her last year. Yep, there's a lot. Dumaguete is basically a college town. And that's great because the English skills are really good here. It's a young, diverse population. There's always something going on. If you guys saw my photos, actually there was a bunch of college students the other morning. I got up at 4:30 in the morning on Monday, and I went down to the waterfront to take some photos and get some drone footage. And there were some college kids there that have been partying all night. They were still going strong. This was about 5:15 in the morning. And I took some photos of them, gave them my email, and sent them a copy of the photos that I took. Yeah, Popeye says Video Freakdom is in Thailand with his lady. All right, so those are a lot of the questions and comments. Now we're going to get into the last two sequences of comments that were left on the channel. The troll runner-up comments of the week. Dick Dark stated on one of my YouTube videos, I think it was Dumaguete Damage or whatever, from Flood. He said, Ned for president, to which I replied, indeed. To which an individual named Chris Lyon replied, Philippine dreams, dark dick. You mean Barack Hussein Obama? We had 8 years of the socialist commie Hussein. You want another liberal white dick in office? Duck, liberal white duck in office. Also, I noticed as I was bringing this back online that YouTube has already demonetized this live cast here. To which Dick Dark replied, and he's obviously English is not his primary language, Chris, think for yourself. I am from Europe and travel twice with a camper a month through your country. And I visit Boston, New York, and Florida. So I know your food sucks. Sara Lee come to my country to sell coffee. They give it for free in the malls and we did not take it. They left after a year. Also, Starbucks, same thing, is not a good standard in Europe. So add what Ned say, 2 million American in jail, that is 25% of all American jail in the world. I can tell you what is wrong and what you have to change in the USA. Obama did a step and got shot in the chest. You, President Trump, is the laugh of the world. Are you not embarrassed? To which Chris Lyon replied, Dick Dark, Dark Dick, I'm embarrassed at your comments. You are a dumb, illiterate duck. Enjoy your Sara Lee coffee, Dark Dick. Are your falls dark also? To which I replied, okay, that's enough back and forth. Actually, it got a lot worse, and I said, all right, bye-bye, moi. Chris Lyon has been voted off the island. A moment of silence for Chris Lyon. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because he started getting into saying things about Dick Dark's, a lot of other things, and it got pretty nasty. And also, I think Chris Lyon is Heart Lion, returning under a different username. So just come back next week, with another lion name. That'll be cool. All right, now let's get to the troll of the week comment. This one is actually the best one so far. And this person actually put a lot of effort into their trolliness, and it is much appreciated. Thank you. This comes from Jason Rougeau. Ha! I see you losers who can't get laid back home walking around with these subpar-looking fugly chicks. I'm a handsome mother ducker. Just landed in Slutville, Cebu, and I can't wait to make out with my hot young date in front of you losers and your ugly girlfriends. I mean, paid merchandise. Emoji, smiley face. I don't even talk to expats, quote-unquote virgins, who are here because I don't want your bad luck to rub off on me, you clucking losers. Can't even get laid back home with a young hot chick, but I can. Cock my click, losers. I don't want to be associated with a bunch of losers who can't get any in the States. To which I replied, wait, what? They now let 12-year-olds fly by themselves unescorted on airlines? Have a great time, Sonny. To which Michael Niaz replied, what's this guy's problem? Is he trying to be the new hobo? To which Jason Rougeau replied, there is nothing more pathetic than an old couch potato sasshole pathetically running his mouth to a young, handsome athlete like myself, who is so obviously your superior. Your glory days are over, sasshole, if you ever had them. Call me Sonny to my face and I'll knock you off that little tricycle, ducking wannabe tough guy, like all these other nerds these days trying to play daddy's little Hell's Angel. So I guess I'm trying to play a Hell's Angel on my Honda Click automatic scooter. I'm sick of you and your kind. I know your type. Eat, spit, and obey your little AARP rulebook like a good boy. Pathetic. After which I think I might have blocked him. So Jason Rougeau, congratulations on definitely getting the Troll of the Week comments. You were able to combine a couple things. You were able to combine some trolliness with some actual humor, and I can sincerely appreciate that. But when you leave, when you start getting it personal with some people because you were attacking somebody else, that's when I have to block you. I don't block a whole lot of people. My block list is actually pretty low. But back to the Manila Hobo, for anybody who is interested, he made a claim on his last video that he's got 10,000 reasons to be thankful for his YouTube channels, his previous YouTube channels, I guess, that got taken down. So he's implying that he made $10,000 US off of his AdSense on YouTube, which I call BS on. Because if you compare, the two channels, my channel and his channel or whatever, there's no way that he made $10,000. So this is an open challenge to PV, Blackfoot, Manila Hobo, the Mangina. I challenge you to prove this through your Google Analytics. Go into an internet cafe like you've been doing lately. Just bring up your Google Analytics, not screenshot it. We need a live feed of it so we can actually make sure you're not using Photoshop again to change the actual facts of the situation. I don't believe you, and I'm calling BS on it, and I'm going to call upon the forces and rally the forces of the Alliance to engage Peter in dialogue to have him prove this. I tell you, people really come to the Philippines to recreate themselves sometimes. And I'd heard about this and I'd kind of seen this. Sometimes when you're rubbing elbows with people, it seems like everybody you're running into is either a jiu-jitsu expert, a karate expert, an ex-US Navy SEAL, a former CIA agent, never an analyst. They just won't talk about it because it's classified. But our boy, the PV, really brought it to a whole different level. Mary Lou Jack says, yes, who's the hobo? You probably, yeah, a fictitious character. Nice one, Dave. Yeah, he's an interesting character. I don't want to promote his channel, so I'm really not going to totally put it out there. Bruce Bogan just did. Yeah, so Mary Lou, if you want to check it out, you can check out his insanity. Or you can just go to hisname.com, and that was one of the most hilarious things that's happened. Raymond says, he who shall not be named. Great Supreme Leader says, glad they used my best side in the Alliance vid, LOL. Hey, Dave, you got to do something because I sometimes at night I'll listen to your live casts, but I'm usually listening to it on my Android, and for some reason it can't play it. And I think there's some setting you have to set in your video to allow it to play on mobile devices or something. I'm not sure. Not sure how that works. So yeah, I got some things to look forward to. Tomorrow night, the Sabinal Family is playing an acoustic set at Flip Flops. That's Thursday night at 7 p.m. They'll be there playing some of their favorite tunes. They do like a 3-hour set. They do a lot of music there. If you're in Dumaguete or the surrounding area, definitely come and check it out. I'll probably be there, but I usually use that time to do work online, so I'll have my laptop and I'll be plucking away at that. So if I seem kind of brusque and dismissive when you come by and say hi, don't take it personally. I'm just trying to get some work done. Because usually I take like Thursday afternoons off and then I work Thursday nights. Ken Russell says, this is very confusing. Don't know what anyone is chatting about. We're chatting about some people that you're going to meet in the Philippines. Some extreme characters that are going to mischaracterize themselves as things that they aren't. And they're also going to say things that are incredibly hypocritical. They're also going to engage in a lot of attacking other people, a lot of chismes. They're basically mga chismoso. They're basically little gossipers. And basically, this guy came on, it was a couple of years ago, and he started attacking all the big channels and saying all kinds of crazy stuff. He was saying, OFWs are whores, all foreigners in the Philippines are sexpats and pedophiles, that older guys shouldn't have kids because they're going to abandon their kids and not be able to support them. And there was a whole bunch of hypocrisy involved in that because basically this guy was a convicted sex offender. He basically abandoned his own kid. He's not paying child support on his own kid who we left back in the United States. He never graduated from any of the universities that he claimed. I mean, he's one of these guys that you're going to meet here that is just full of BS. It's like literally oozing out of their ears. And it's the type, you're going to meet these type of people, especially when it comes to guys telling war stories. And I guess this just happened in the United States. There was some guy who was claiming to be a United States Navy SEAL, and he made something for the president or something, like some trophy, and he wanted to present it to President Trump, and come to find out he was never a Navy SEAL. And you're going to run into that. Catabatic says hypocrisy and scamming. Yeah, and he was scamming a whole bunch of people. Van Turner says took over PV's Ladyboy. I don't know anything about that. Dimes being dropped. Just bring your Hungarian sausage and mashed potatoes. Gerald Dedon says, I found using Pinoy vinegar and wishbone is a great dressing. I haven't tried that. I use the red wine vinegar and the extra virgin olive oil. Hobo wants to do a live stream but lacks the internet peso. Yeah, Gerald Dedon says, laugh, give your 3-bean salad again. Yeah, I made my latest batch of 3-bean salad yesterday. I'm very proud. I'm trying different things with it, and it's good. I like 3 beans. I really like 3-bean salad. I'm sorry. I do. But I'm not the kind of guy that if I'm invited to, what is that, potluck, I will never bring my 3-bean salad because a lot of people really don't like 3-bean salad all that much. I usually try to bring some kind of greasy meat. And Kev is here. Jerry Kadanian is here. Philippine Life. Why fight about politics? We're not really fighting about politics. That's just a fruitless path to go down. You're never going to be able to change anybody's mind. But what I think is interesting is how it's coming to a head in certain parts of the world, including Germany, Austria, Europe. Everybody's getting involved in this. There's a lot of manipulation going on through social media. We're learning more and more about this. And again, if you really want to go down a weird rabbit hole, do a Google search on Fancy Bear. That's fancy, as in a fancy, bear. And that'll bring you to information on these Russian trolls that have been operating for over a decade. And they were primarily trying to influence elections locally, such as in the Ukraine, things like that. And now they're trying to act internationally, and they're being incredibly successful at it. They don't have to spend a lot of money. They spent, $150,000 with Facebook. And they're targeting everybody, and they're just trying to sow discord. They're trying to create conflict. They're trying to separate people and bolster this culture war that's going on not only in the United States, but around the rest of the world, so that they can destabilize the West. That's their ultimate goal. And they were incredibly effective in doing that, influencing the American election to get Donald Trump in. Because ever since he's been in, man, it's just been craziness. It's just one thing after another. And if the Russians wanted to destabilize a country, they succeeded, and they did a fantastic job. So it used to be, guns, germs, and steel were power. Credit was power at one point. Financial influence, military power at one point. But now it's influencing people. It's motivating people to go to extremes, either on the left or the right. They're targeting they were targeting like Black Lives Matter and doing it in a way saying, hey, the white people are going to attack you. You need to arm yourselves. You need to learn self-defense because they're going to start, killing you and everything. It's amazing what's going on, and we're just starting to learn about this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And I think what you're going to find out, the conclusion they're going to have, at least with the American election, is that the Russians were incredibly effective in targeting social media in certain districts of certain states, the swing states, if you will. And because some of those states he won by like 22,000, 30,000 votes. He didn't win by a whole lot. So they were able to influence it that way. Now, I think the collusion, if there was collusion, came from, and I don't think Donald Trump knows anything about this because I don't think he's smart enough to be able to keep this a secret. I've spoken about this before. Somebody in his cabinet worked with the Russians and provided information on what districts, maybe they gave the Russians certain polling data that wasn't out on public disclosure or something, and the Russians used that district polling and state polling to determine where they should attack. I think that's what we're going to find out happened. White trash lives matter. Rory Thomas. Davao Don says. Nice one. Davao Don says, I belong to no organized political party. I'm a Democrat. Well played, sir. Well played. Bobby K says, please stop sending me pictures of your... Okay, we're not going to talk about that. All right, so that's basically it. I'm sorry about the interruption halfway. Well, not even halfway. It was only like 12 minutes into the live stream. But that's part of the realities of living, in the Philippines is brownouts. Now, Dumaguete is cool because when it's a brownout, it's only like 5 or 10 minutes, unless it's one of the once a month scheduled brownouts that are 8 hours and usually held on a Sunday. So thanks for taking part in the discussion, everybody. Somebody please pass on my challenge. Maybe Virgin Guadalupe can pass it on to Peavy about proving that he made $10,000 with his YouTube. Take care of you all. Don't get caught up in all the craziness. Make the most of what you have, and thanks again for taking part. I'll see you next time. This is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams, and Angel's back there. And I got to go chase down some more flesh flies with my aerosol. Peace out. Be well.